my dudes, welcome back to the second channel. Here we are for another Nuuly review-ly. It is May, it's the end of May. Actually, it's June, okay. But this is the May Nuuly. You know how this works, let's get into it. First thing is not this. If you remember, I rented this from one of my earliest Nuulys, and then I ended up finding it on a cheaper website elsewhere and bought it. It's definitely not for fucking spring, summer weather. I don't know what I'm doing. But I thought it might pair nicely with these pants. I just thought the colors might go well together, but I'm so hot, I might have to just take it off. Yeah, let's do it. Goodbye. All right, it's off. So, these pants, wow. I found this Nuuly Instagram, like a fan of Nuuly user. They basically post memes about Nuuly, which I loved because I could relate to a lot of them. Those memes alone did convince me to try some funky pants this time around. I love a funky pant, so here we are. These are like a yellowy, kind of chartreusey color. They're corduroy. They have these intentionally weird puffy pockets. Like the pockets are not the same. This one's like folded over, so it puffs out. This one kind of puffs a little. They're very loose, very baggy. The back pockets are fake, which I don't love. But let's talk about what these are. These are the corduroy wide leg trousers from JOA, size medium. Retail $80, Nuuly price $64.80. So, corduroy, did not say that right. Corduroy wide leg trousers, sure. Yeah, I wish, check this out. I wish that the back pockets were like full pockets, because I just don't like the way that like no pocket pants look on the back. It just makes my butt not look as nice, I'd say. I think that's a common sentiment. I've really enjoyed these pants. I've worn them at least 5 or 6 times. Every time I wear them, I feel like it's a look, it's a statement. The one thing is they're a tiny bit tight. So like if it's late in the day and I've been eating well, it gets like, ouch, you know? That's where I'm at right now. There's definitely not any stretch to this waistband or anything. The first time I tried these on, I was like, I'm buying these. These are a new piece of my wardrobe. I need to have these chartreuse corduroy wide leg trousers. And I'm still tempted just by the way that they make me feel, and maybe it's just that they're so comfortable and baggy. Maybe I just need more like baggy pants in my life, more baggy wide leg trousers. Because I would not say that these are perfect. They're definitely not flawless, and I don't feel like 100% in them. I'd say I feel 87% in them, which is pretty good. Let's go to the next shirt that I wore with these pants. So out of breath, what the fuck? Hey! Uh-oh, we've got a top. A really funky top that I very much enjoy. I did not wear this enough. What have I been doing? I at least wore it a few times, but now that I just put it back on, I'm like, this is so comfortable, first of all, and it makes me feel wild and free. Because I don't have a bra and I don't wear a lot of shirts braless, and because this one's so light, it tends to just feel like my tits are out, and I have to constantly be like, oh no, they're in, they're good. By the way, I also wanted to talk about, I just watched Bo Burnham's new special called Inside. He made it through the course of quarantine, and it's a very intense watch. I loved it. Anyway, if you're familiar with Bo Burnham's work, you know how it goes, but there are specifically a lot of things that I think relate to being a YouTuber. There are like literal actual allusions to YouTube or like streamers and stuff, and I just could relate to so much of it. And like lately I've been in this mood where I just keep thinking about how like being a YouTuber is embarrassing because it's inherently about attention seeking, and like that doesn't align with what I want in my life, but it's my job. Therefore, I must try to appeal to people. So I'm constantly conflicted about that. I'm like, oh, I want to be likable, I want to be funny. But then a lot of my videos are just me staring off like... Anyway, fun, tangent, unrelated. In case you like Bo Burnham, or if you like comedy, and this one's very experimental, and obviously it's musical because it's Bo Burnham. There you go, that's my review. This is the Cherry Bomb plaid blouse from Free People, size small. Retail $88, newly priced $55.44. Free People does it again, baby. I did actually wear this as a fit together, which I know is a statement. Took an Instagram pic. I just thought it was a fun combo, even though I know it doesn't probably go together perfectly. Someone commented that I looked very Gen Z, and I was like, well, I'll take that as a compliment, thank you. I think I've become more self-aware of my style lately, definitely due to these videos in part. So yeah, I feel like I'm more self-aware of like, am I dressing like a millennial? Am I dressing in a way that I really like, or am I just getting kind of complacent? Because I used to be a lot more funky and stuff, but I also used to be like 17, 18 years old, so that kind of makes sense. But I like to embrace that still because I don't think there's a certain age where you can experiment with fashion and then you have to stop. And even now, like, this is not outlandish. Somebody also said I look like Ronald McDonald, which, again, accurate. So anyway, this top, I really love the way that it fits and feels around the torso. It just feels like a hug. It's very comforting. And then the boobs, I feel like I'm not filling it out 100%, but yeah, almost there. It's comfortable enough. And then the arms, these kind of balloon sleeves, I just like them. They're fun. I like the red. I feel like I don't wear red very often, so it's kind of like a statement of passion. And finally, I love this kind of square-ish neckline. You can go off the shoulders, but that feels a little much for me. Then I'm like, yeah, my tits will pop out of here. Woo! Not today, not on YouTube. Can you see the details of like my boob's in the way. What is this called? Stretchiness on the sides, which again really helps it feel more comfortable. How does it look in the back? I don't know. But yeah, I liked these. And again, I think I'm feeling the suffocation from the pants, unfortunately. So let's take them off. Then we have another pair that does not make sense. So why am I doing it? Okay, in the viewfinder, I literally look like the lower half of my body has been green screened away and I'm just boobsing up, you know? This, I feel like this looks really bad. I need to check the mirror. It's not great. It's not great, I'll say that. But here's the thing, I will blame the skirt because I have not worn it, which sucks. Pretty sure this was my last choice in the Nuuly, and that is always the curse. The last thing that I'm like, let's be a little different, let's go for it. And then I try it on and I'm like, nope. First of all, I thought that this skirt would be good for like the warmer weather, a nice breezy day, a nice walk. That's all I ever want to dress for. But it's totally see-through. It has lining, but the lining is very light. So you can still see through it, and I do not own any like skin-colored shorts or shapewear or like even like a fucking slip dress. I have none of that. So on the days where I've wanted to wear this skirt, I'm like, you're gonna be able to see my ass. And that kind of takes away the fun. But anyway, I mean, it fits. That's good. It's got this little slit in the leg there. This was actually a brand new item, which I don't encounter often in a Nuuly, so I was like, oh cool, I get to be the first one to wear it. Basically did not wear it, so what is there to say? I feel like the only occasion that this skirt would work well for me is like to go over a bathing suit. Because then I'm like, I don't care if you see my ass, that's the point. Oh, you can see my bathing suit under there? Yeah, I'm gonna take this thing off in 0.2 seconds. So yeah, slightly disappointing just that I didn't get use out of it, really. This is the Juliana Anglaise midi skirt from Mink Pink, size medium. Retail $109, Nuuly price $88.29, $88 every time. That price? No way. Yeah, no, just didn't do it for me, did nothing for me. And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. Hey, don't mind me. God, fucking buttons are so laborious, you know? Am I right? That would be my stand-up. Buttoning things takes too much time, I'd say. Thank you. Thank you. This is the boho linen short overalls from Urban Outfitters. Size small, retail $64, Nuuly price $55.68. I also think these may have been new with tags this time too, which is pretty cool. Maybe that just means I'm trying items that are new or like haven't been rented yet, obviously, which is risky because then, you know, you don't have reviews or photos to go off of. So, okay. I have these paired with just a black shirt. I don't know if this looks good. In the viewfinder it doesn't, but what can you do? It's too late. I'm not taking it off and putting it back on with a different shirt. That's the worst thing about these, by the way. Anytime you have to pee, you have to unbutton everything and take it off and then put it back on, button it back up, tie it. So much effort. Here's what the butt looks like. Again, not the most flattering, but like whatever, you know, it doesn't need to be. I've been feeling this vibe because it's just like, you know, let me just walk to the store. Cute, yeah, cool. I feel like these do slightly give me a wedgie while I'm walking though, and then it's like, great, you know, what do you do? I'm just listening to the sound of my like freezer making noises, which I know is like the little ice machine, but it's scaring me. I've been listening to too much My Favorite Murder again in the last few days. I routinely have to stop myself from listening because like on one hand it's comforting. I think it's just nice to listen to Karen and Georgia in the first few minutes when they're just talking. And I do like true crime, but then I like terrify myself and then I go to bed and I'm like, someone's gonna break in and murder me. Of course. And so like today, I think this is why I'm out of breath. I think I'm anxious and I didn't want to acknowledge it yet. All day I've been like doing tiny little things on my to-do list, but like the big things are like, I need to work on my next main channel video. I need to film this. I need to return my Nuuly to the UPS store. Sure. And so I spent hours and hours of the day just like hanging around, eating again, making a coffee. The coffee was bad, remade it. So here I am now. Yeah, maybe this is just some stress surfacing. This is also the first time that I've spoken out loud today, so that's always a little shaky. But Nathan pointed out that I'm always very anxious right before my period starts. And I love when he points things out like that because I'm like, first of all, you pay so much attention to me, thank you. And I'm also like, oh, like you literally notice things that I do not. I'll be like, why am I so anxious? He's like, your period's starting soon. And I'm like, oh wait, you're right, yeah, thanks. So that's probably a component as well. Also, I'm very hot. I'm like, are all of these things related or do I just not know how to fix my environment? You know, like turn the air conditioning on, okay? Anyway, if you can hear me having choppier speech than usual, I'm averaging like 6 words before another deep sigh. That's another thing. I will sigh often throughout the day, just like that, where I'm like, and he'll be like, what? And I'm like, oh, I'm just breathing. That's just how I breathe. I just need like a big breath and it comes out as a sigh that sounds stressed or disappointed when I'm just like, no, I'm just trying to breathe. Just trying to bring some oxygen in. Still very sick of my nose not being good at breathing, but I don't want to be a mouth breather. So maybe sighing is my way to try to sidestep that. Anyway, I am unloading on you today. Sorry about it. No, we're all here for it, you know. We say we're here for the Nuuly, but we are really here for the, what's going on, Tiffany? Hey, how rude of me. How are you guys doing? Genuinely. Are we all in this feeling? Currently feeling good? I say very uncertainly. Today I don't feel great, but in recent weeks I guess I've felt generally better since being vaccinated, and like being able to see some of our other vaccinated friends again has been really nice. So like on those days I'm great, but I feel like in terms of like my individual self, I've been very stressed. I haven't been liking my main channel videos, which makes me feel like a fucking idiot. And again, back to my point about feeling embarrassed to be a YouTuber. It's like, if I post a video that I think is subpar, but I have to post it because I have a sponsor or I have a deadline or like I just need to post something, it's so embarrassing to me. I'm embarrassed that I spent like 30 hours working on a video that people are like, like what is this? Or they don't even watch, you know, which is totally fair, but it definitely fucks with my self-esteem. And then I'm like, great, let's work on the next one. Let's make the next one a good one. Let's hope it doesn't flop like the one I just did. So anyway, clearly very insecure right now. I met up with a YouTube friend recently, and then after I was like analyzing how I behaved. Again, as we all like adjust to like seeing people again, I was like, am I weird? Like, was I being annoying? Was I being too negative? Because I've been like unloading about all these same things that I just told you about, my stresses and things, and I'm like, do I talk too much? Like, am I overwhelming the conversation? And then I'm just like complete bummer the whole time. Like, I think that's one of my biggest fears, is being perceived as a negative person that people don't want to be around. So, wow. Anyway, these overalls, they're all right. Anyway, I think I'm just looking forward to hopefully returning to a more confident version of myself. I miss the self that I used to be, you know, whenever I was like outspoken and I would just like say what I believed without worrying how I was being perceived. But these days I feel like I'm very in my own head, and then I'm just like avoidant, and I don't like the space that I'm in, but I guess I'm still just navigating how to get out of that. Again, I'm like, is this related to lockdown? I feel like part of it has to be, for sure. Like, how could you not be more in your own head or in your own world if like you've primarily been home or more isolated in the last year? I feel like that's normal. But even though it's normal or it's common, that doesn't make it any easier to actually experience. Anyway, next item. Hi, here's a comfy outfit. Here are some very comfortable pants that my sister gave me, hence why they have a little bit of bleach staining on them. And this is my next top, which is completely boring, and I would say not a great color for my whole skin tone hair combo. I feel like it washes me out, but it's very soft and it's comfortable. So I've been wearing it. I've worn it many a times. This is the Leah Twist front top from Sen, size 1. Retail price $75, Nuuly price $58.50. I like this like twistiness, fashion lingo. I actually like the length. It's really at like my belly button, so it's a pretty long shirt for something that other people in the reviews were calling pretty cropped. So guess it depends on your height, how long your torso is, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but yeah, mostly just been wearing it in a very casual way. Is the back interesting? No. Like this is me if I want to like curl up on the couch and sit in my usual spot. This is the outfit. Yeah, I usually don't pick super basic kind of pieces for Nuuly because again, it feels like you should use them for more statement, more valuable pieces that are worth it. But yeah, this time I was just like, maybe I just need a new shirt. A new cash shirt. And we had a good time together. We don't need to draw this out. Let's end it. And our final item is this top, which I actually love. I do, I love it. We've had real good times together. Paired with this little slinky skirt, which is from Aritzia. It is basically wrinkle proof, which is ideal for me because I'm lazy. This is the Spring Fling top from Free People, obviously. Size small, retail $68, Nuuly price $59.84. So that's really only $8 less, okay. One thing I'll say right off the bat that I just noticed is like when you first put the shirt on, you can kind of pull the sleeves down like this, but then they kind of just naturally bunch up, which I think looks cute. But what I think I realized is that maybe this side's elastic isn't quite as good because I feel like this one stays puffed up and this one kind of deflates. Minor little nitpick there. Similar to that other Free People top, clearly I was in a mood when I saw these two. I was like, that's it. Love this square neckline. This is making me want as many square necklines as I can possibly find. Another top that I wear without a bra, which feels very freeing to me. Though, I wore this, I think like literally to the post office one day, and it kind of rides up. And I bet there was a point where you could at least see my under boob, like underneath this, because like the body of the shirt is pretty see-through, that there's like a teeny bit of extra lining over the actual boob area. So that's just something. I don't have any pasties or anything, so if nips are out, they're out. But yeah, I love it. It's like a off-white kind of creamy color. There's the back. I've enjoyed it so much that I have considered buying it, but again, it's like, I feel like once I buy something, then I'm like, when do I need to wear this? I own it, I could wear it any time. Whereas when I have my Nuuly, I obviously have the pressure to like wear items as much as I can during the month because that's the only time I have them, you know? So I'm like, even if I love this shirt now, if I bought it, it might just go in my closet and I'd wear it like once or twice a year. So do I need it, you know? I love to pose like this with it. It's totally unnatural pose. I'm like, define the waist. Cute, cute, cute. And again, similar to the other one, I love the way that it like hugs my torso. It feels very comfortable. This one is kind of hard to put on and take off because it's not very stretchy, but once it's on, it does feel very nice. So no complaints really. Oh, let me show you the how the actual shirt Lay's, in case you're interested. So this is what the shirt actually looks like fully, hence why I like to tuck it in. Maybe part of why I like these tops is because they're like a teeny bit cottagecore-y, and also I've just been working on my main channel video about like costumers and historical fashion, so like I feel like there are tiny little bits of influence in these tops that do feel a little historical. I don't know, I can't name any details, but you know, just kind of the vibe. You know, just the vibe of history. Kind of has like a historical vibe. Anyway, that's all for this month's Nuuly. Overall, I would say I loved this shirt, the yellow pants, and the red top. So 3 loves. I liked the casual twisty top and the overalls, and then I did not like the white skirt. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, in spite of, or maybe because of, my whole rant in the middle of it. But that's how I've been feeling, and this is what I've been wearing. And cheers to June. Hope it's not shitty. Though, June gloom has set in, and I fucking hate June gloom. One more rant. June gloom can suck my balls, you know, and I'm not usually one to say that, I swear to God. I remember especially growing up in California, like being so excited for summer, get out of school, go to the beach, and June gloom would hit, and it fucking sucked. And it's like, dude, especially in California, it's like the weather's so nice so much of the year. Like in like March, you start being like, oh, it's back to beach season. And then in June, when the summer starts, it's shitty. So, I mean, the temperature is still okay to go to the beach, but it's just not the same if it's all gray and gloomy. So it's been pretty shitty. Last week was very like bright and sunny, and then the weekend hit and it was like gloomy and rainy all over the weekend. 3-day weekend. Memorial Day. And I think that's contributing to my mood as well. It's like, it's not fun to look out the window when it's gray and sad. I would not do well in this sort of climate permanently. Anyway, again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for another second channel upload. You guys are the true ones. I appreciate you very much. And I would like to get in comfortable clothes again. Okay, thanks, bye!